Hey, what's up guys? So yeah, finally have this review. Well, not basically a review video about why I got rid of the A7 III and got the EOS R, which I'm filming with right now. It's nice to have the tilty screen. I could see what's in focus and stuff, but yeah, anyway. So I got rid of the A7 III and I got the Canon EOS R mirrorless. Just to get things out of the way, that I was always a Canon shooter. The 5D3 was always my main camera at weddings. This is my workhorse. This is my wife at weddings. So I was always a Canon shooter, and even before that I shot with the Canon 60D, which came out in 2012. This had the flippy screen as well. So this was my first camera, APS-C, and then I graduated to the 5D Mark III. So with all the hype with Sony stuff and the A7 and the A7 II, and I wanted to try out the Sony stuff, you know, with all the eye autofocus goodness, the great autofocus system, face tracking, all of that. And I was more interested in the Sony for the dynamic range because I wanted to use it basically for certain situations at weddings, like high contrast situations where I would underexpose and pull back those shadows and stuff in post. So it was, the A7 III was basically like a side chick, you know, the side chick where you go and you get, you know, your little thing, but you come home because you to your wife, and you know this is the place you're supposed to be. So the the Sony was that type of camera for me. I'm not saying that is a bad camera. I used it, I had my time with it, and it just wasn't for me. I started to feel disconnected with it, and for me, using a camera is all about, for me, reliability, user experience, and the end product, which is the images that come out of the camera. And that was always the case with the Canons, with the 5D Mark III, right? So going back, let me just tell you about my user experience with the A7 III, things I tolerated, and what was the final straw for me in getting rid of it. So, like, you always hear about, you know, Canon colors and stuff, that it's the best, and Canon has the best color science, skin tones. It's obvious, it's true. When you shoot with a Canon and you compare it to the Sony, there's a big difference for me, like especially with skin tones and trying to bring it to the colors that you would see on the 5D. So I'm shooting weddings. I would always use the 5D, like that's my main camera. Only for certain things I would use the A7 IV. So in Lightroom now, when I'm trying to actually edit now, the maybe like 100 photos that I took with the A7 III, it just wasn't matching up to me. Skin tone wise, the reds were not like the Canons, the greens were not like the Canons, the skin tones were not like the Canons. It just couldn't, and no matter how much I tried to tweak it, it just wouldn't match up. Now when I deliver the galleries, the client wouldn't really see that, but I'm seeing it because I could actually compare it. So it just wasn't, you know, fitting up to that standard, but that was fine. It was okay, I tolerated it. I was okay. Let's move on from that. So the next issue was sometimes you're using the camera and it would just automatically say to recover data on card. So this is like sometimes when I'm on a shoot and I'm using it, it doesn't happen every time, but every so often it would happen, and it was annoying. It would say something like the data wasn't carried over to the card and you need to recover. So I would actually have to recover it, and it will take like about 5-6 seconds to do that, and then I would be able to use the card again, and hoping that the actual images that I took on it there, which for some reason, and I'm glad it was always there, and I didn't know what was the reason with that it was doing that with the cards, but it was annoying. So I tolerated that. Okay, fine, let's move on. Now the next issue I had with it was, this is probably because of the adapter I was using it for my Canon lenses and stuff like that. But sometimes if I'm using like the Sigma or the 24-7T and I'm probably taking some photos with it, it would just shut off. it would just freeze up, it would like lock up, and the shutter wouldn't go off, the camera would just go blank, and I would have to like take it off, take out the batteries, put it back in, and frustrating. So I couldn't use like any of my Canon lenses with it. So I'm guessing that was probably not really the issue with the camera, but probably the adapter. But anyway, annoying, so fine, deal with that, move on. Because I had native lenses, I had the 85 1.8 and I had the 28 f2, so it's fine. I had native lenses, but I couldn't really use my Canon lenses with it. Otherwise I would have had to buy a Metapones adapter, which I didn't want to do because it's too expensive. So I was, you know what, okay, I'll just use my Canon lenses on my 5D, fine. The final straw with this camera for me was when I was on an actual job, and I do jobs for Tony Crockett Design. She's an interior designer and she does really great work. You should check her out. So I usually do photos for her, and she saw some of the videos that I'm doing on YouTube and some of the stuff that I was dabbling with in video, and she asked me if I could just do some video stuff for her, and I was like, yeah, fine. So straight off video I was thinking, you know, the Sony A7 III, good autofocus, do what I want, thing. Fine. Went to the job, set up my tripod, set up my shots, and click record. Now, I didn't want to use any special profile or anything like that. I just wanted to shoot on the standard profile because I wanted to trust the camera basically to get the colors accurate. Because with these particular interior designs and stuff like that, they tend to have like, they want their colors to be accurate and stuff. They don't want any sort of fancy editing that will throw off the blues the way it is, or the greens the way it is. So it's basically just adding contrast and brightening up. That's all they want. But for video, I just didn't want to play around with that. I didn't want to go into any Cine 4 or any S-Log or any HLG. I just wanted to play it safe. So I decided to just put it on the standard profile. So I was recording the video and I was watching the screen and I was like, why are the colors looking like this? And then I was like, okay, I'm hoping that it's just the LCD screen that on the A7 III that's showing it like this, and hopefully when I carry it over into Final Cut onto the computer, I would actually see the real how the footage looks really on the computer. So thankfully I shot some of the video with the 5D. Now this is like what, big 6-year, 8-year gap between, not even that, 8-year gap maybe, I can't remember when this camera came out, but anyway, 1080p video on this camera, and the colors were on point, and I compared it to the Sony A7III and I was like totally like, I was frustrated because I was like, the colors in the video here are on point, and what I'm seeing on the Sony is just, to me, it was embarrassing. I didn't want to deliver that product to the client. I was outraged. So I tried, you know, color correcting it in Final Cut Pro and trying to get it to match up to the Canon. No way it would. So I was frustrated and I was like, you know what, I had enough of this camera. So knowing that the EOS R was out, you know what, I said, if this old camera could give me good colors in video, I can imagine what the EOS R would do. So, but anyway, I decided to rent out the camera, give it a go. Shout out to Conrad. And you know, the EOS R, you know, you look all over the internet and people like bashing it for specs and stuff like that. And for me, I don't really focus too much on specs. Like, for me, my photography is more of a creative thing. Like, I focus more on the creative side of things rather than the spec-wise of the things. For me, it's creating. So specs and stuff, I don't really worry about that too much, because once I have a camera in my hand, I can make it work. But the EOS R, compared to this, it's like the 5D3 or the 5D4. Well, let's say the 5D3. It went to the gym, it slimmed down, and it got healthier. That's basically it. So I actually have a Canon camera with eye autofocus, face tracking, all that good stuff in photography. And I gave the camera a try, and the user experience was what I expected it to be, just like this. And that was the main thing for me, the user experience. Fully articulating screen, the touch screen, I could go anywhere. The user interface, I could go anywhere with the touch screen. It was just an absolute joy to use. like the experience of using the camera, it was just working for me. Now, this is just me. I'm not telling anybody to buy this camera because it's perfect for me, but this is just my point of view and what it does for my workflow. So I know I'm ranting on and on about the camera, but let me exactly tell you some of the things that I really like about it. I'll just use the 60D here as an example of the camera because I'm shooting with it like I told you guys. But okay, so the first thing is when you pick up the camera, it feels good in your hand. And guys, the tilty screen, it's just a time saver. Like like you all know, it's fully touch screen. So one of the things I like about it, and while using it at weddings, was that sometimes when you're doing bridal prep, sometimes you might be in a small room, and the fact that the screen could be like this and like some tight spaces, and you know, like the makeup artist here, and like, you know, in a tight squeeze, but you want to kind of like get like a particular angle, I literally like extend the camera out like that, basically turn it like that, and I'll just touch the focus on the screen, and it will like literally focus there from edge to edge because it's edge to edge focusing, and I can like take the shot right there. So you have the option to like press the shutter if you want, or like touch, focus, and take the shot. So it real useful for those kind of like tight spaces. You could flip it this way, you could flip it that way, you could look down. And yeah, having that on a professional, well not professional, but a full frame camera is a joy. I can't like say how much easier it has been with this screen and shooting in really difficult situations. And you know, people say that how Sony innovates. Yeah, they innovate with the mirrorless, and they're like, Canon not innovating anything. But think about it, Canon had this tilty swivelly screen since 2012 on the 60D, and why did Sony could only tilt this way? It says much, right? But anyway, I'm not bashing. So that's absolute joy to work with. Another thing that was really impressive was that the adapter that comes with the camera, where you can mount your EF lenses. This, I don't know, it's just you mount it and it's like it brings a whole new set of life to your old lenses. It's freaking amazing. I have to say freaking amazing, because like things that I would try to do on this, I would get like soft images and stuff. I'm getting sharp images on the EOS R. It's like your lenses are like totally different. You're like, it brings out the true potential of what your lenses could do. I was really mind blown. I know it's because it's mirrorless and stuff like that, but damn, like the things that I didn't have to, at no time it had anything like focus and recomposing, because you know, on the 5D, all the focus points are in the middle, so I could basically like go to the end and focus. And I have the 50mm 1.8, right? Plastic Fantastic, that hunts like literally all the time. The things that lens was doing on this body, I was like questioning, like, what the hell? Like, it had a point in time during a shoot, I had to do a backlit shot, right? Now, the subject, she wanted a shot where she was like meditating, and it was the sun, it was on the Abercrombie lookout, and the sun was basically high up, blasting all the way down. So she wanted a silhouette, and she wanted a yoga pose, and she wanted the sun through her finger. I'm taking the shot with the 50mm, which is insane to do, because with that kind of contrast and backlighting, it would hunt crazy on the 5D. On this thing, just tilt the screen, I didn't have to drop low, touch, it focused, I was like, wow, I took the shot and it came out sharp. So I was like, what the hell? I was like, no, definitely it was, I was blown away. I was real surprised that the 50mm, the lens that I have, the only 50mm that I use, and it hunts like a guy in hunting season, took that shot just by me tapping and focusing it, and I got through with it. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, that was a next thing that blew me away with the camera. Like I said before, I love there's certain things like I like the new frame rate, the 8 frames per second. That's fine for me. Shoot weddings, I don't really need anything higher than that. That's perfect for me. So I'm not into shooting sports or anything like that, so that's fine with me. The touch screen, like I said before, perfect. You can go anywhere, and this is where user experience comes in, right? So on the Sony, you would have to like basically go through all these folders and all this stuff like that. But on this, there are the folders where you could basically go through anywhere easily, even with the dials, and you could get anywhere you want on the touch screen. So it's quick and it's easy. Change your settings, that's it. Now a lot of people talk about that touchpad thing. It took a while to get used to. Yes, it's kind of weird. I wasn't too, excited about it. I have it set for my ISO, so I just tap and I change my ISO. I don't have any problems like hitting it by accident because my thumbs are small, so it fits perfectly. But it takes a while to get used to. You can customize it to anything you want. It's okay. It's okay. Now one of the things that really amazing about this camera, and to me innovative, right, is that yes, it doesn't have the joystick like I just said, alright, but the touch screen to focus while you're looking through the viewfinder, right, that works flawlessly. I was amazed with how good it works. You could basically just look through the viewfinder and you're just carrying your focus points anywhere you want to, and you could even set it up to start where you want to start, whether it be the right or the left or the top or the bottom, wherever you want it to start. I have it at the bottom right, so it's always there, and I just move it to where I want and it works perfectly. So I could definitely say this camera has kind of changed my shooting style, because like I would always be with the 5D and with the Sony looking through the viewfinder like this, bending down and stuff. But now I'm actually using the tilt screen. I'm touching to focus, snapping, touching to focus, snapping, and it just locks on. Touch, snap, right? Look through the viewfinder. I don't need the joystick. I just touching to go. And if I find like, maybe sometimes, I have to like probably scroll all the way to the end here, or just flip out the screen, touch the focus, bam, touch the focus, bam, touch the focus, bam. So sometimes I do it and I'm not really looking like a photographer, I'm looking like a videographer, but it's because I'm touching the focus, bam, 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 bam. And then whenever I want to, I just look through and stuff like that. So all that, again, is a new user experience, and it was just working for me. It's like they didn't really focus on things like what the Sony has. I mean, Sony has so much features, yes, but in this we have the eye autofocus, we have the face tracking, and these little things, little things like the tilt screen, the touch to focus, and the touch and draw to focus, the user interface. All those little things just come together perfectly for me with the final product, and this is the reason why it's basically okay. Canon gave me something that's similar to what Canon gave me a mirrorless camera that's similar to Sony, and that was it. It's an easy decision if you shoot in Canon. So, and I have Canon lenses, so yeah. Oh, and another thing, I don't know if I said before, is that people talk about the 4K crop. I have no issue with that. Like I said, I started off with APS-C, and I bought the 11-16 wide angle lens, and that is for a crop sensor, so that works perfectly with the cropped 4K. So I have no problems with the 4K shooting. I don't know what else to say. I might be repeating myself on some stuff, but you guys get the gist. I hope I explained myself properly on this. So yeah, Canon EOS R for me. I don't know if it's for you, but it's for me. Bye.